The second lesson of Chapter 4 talks about ways to enhance an image and also use more alternative text, which we talked about in previous ones. But let's take a look at first how you can do a few things to an image. I'm going to first click on the clubhouse image, and you can change the border at the bottom of the properties panel by typing a number in. And it puts a small border around there. You can actually make the border bigger. I'll make it just a little more for dramatic purposes, 25. But they want us to put a 1, and that puts just a little bit of buffer around there. And they have us do the same thing for the boardwalk. So what we do to one, we'll do to both. Similarly, if I click on the clubhouse, you can add V space or vertical space or H space or horizontal space around your picture, and they want us to put the value of 10 in each of those, and that gives us a little bit of space vertically as well as horizontally. And we'll do the same thing for boardwalk, as we treat one as equal as the other, which is always good. And see how that spaces the images out nicely. Now this version Dreamweaver is nice for a few reasons. One, if you want to make modifications to an image, you click on the image, and then on the properties there's an image edit image setting option that brings up this window where you can do a few things like change the quality, you can change the format of the image, and then under options you can change the size, the percentage of things along that nature. So they actually want us to do that for the boardwalk. They want us to change it from a PNG to a JPEG. Alright, and I'm going to hit OK on that. It's going to ask where to save it. We're going to save it in our assets folder, which is nice. And let me refresh it. And now we have a JPG and a PNG. You may ask what the difference is, and this may be a little tough to see, but just note down here in the files that the JPEG is 16 kilobytes, the PNG is 83 kilobytes. So the size differential is pretty significant, but the image itself, you really can't tell any difference by looking at the two of them. I'm gonna save this real quick because I want to demonstrate one other thing to kind of close this area out. Is under that edit image setting, if you click on it, you can do things like change the size quite easily. So say I want to change the percentage to be, I'll say about 67%. It'll change the image of that picture and save it. So if you do that, be careful, because when I click on a picture and resize it this way with the handles, you may think it does the same thing, but in essence it doesn't. This just changes how the height and width appears on the page, but when you actually click on it and use the edit image setting, it will technically change the actual size of the image that is saved separately in the assets folder. So if you use that, it's not a bad thing to use, but just be aware of what can be done with that. I'm going to undo this just to get back to where we were. And they talk on the next page about alt text, and I think I mentioned that in a previous item, but if you click on it, you can actually come down here and change alt text. So they want us to change this to say the striped umbrella clubhouse, and then I think this one down here still says the boardwalk to the beach, which is fine. And then lastly, if you go under edit and preferences, something good to check is under accessibility, make sure that you have these 4 items checked, and this will be helpful again for someone that has a computer or monitor or a system that allows for text to be read on web pages, for possibly somebody with visual impairment.